Think all video editing side hustles are a dead end. Think again. I'm blowing the lid off 14 side hustles that can be highly lucrative if done right. We're going to tell you how to do them right. These aren't just fluff, they're actual gold mines and easily activatable. I'm talking about you can pull off any of these within the next week or two. I'm going to show you exactly how. Without further ado, let's jump into 14 side hustles that actually work and earn money in 2024. So what's going down, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing it big, not doing it small. We're actually talking about 14 side hustles that you can work alongside your normal job or alongside your freelance video editing career and generate some more cash. Without further ado, let's talk about it. Now, let's break down a couple points that are going to help you here because there's no like free rides anywhere. You do obviously have to have some value to provide for somebody to exchange money for the value you're giving to them. It's a trade at the end of the day, right? I'm going to give you a service. You're going to give me some cash. Everybody's happy, but you do obviously have to have some skills to be able to cash in on these 14 side hustles that we're going to talk about today. So there is going to be some importance on having a track record and a portfolio and some skills that you bring to the table. Hell, if you have a video sales letter, a video intro on there that lets your personality get conveyed through the page, that might even help a little bit more. I know it certainly has helped me in the past. In fact, I've seen conversions go up as much as 5, 6, 7, 10x when I implemented video sales letters and personalized outreach. That's a couple things that obviously will help. And then at the basic level, you should know how to use the video editing software that you're going to be doing these hustles with. And if you are a CapCut warrior, you could still take advantage of some of these side hustles, but ideally you should be a Premiere Pro Padawan. I have no clue what the hell I'm talking about. A Premiere Pro beast or a DaVinci mastermind. Ideally, what I'm trying to say here is just a competent video editor with some skills to fully capitalize on what we're going to talk about today. So let's jump into the nitty gritty. I've got 3 core areas that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about beginner side hustles that are an entry into this video production side hustle space. We're also going to talk about intermediate opportunities. And we're also going to talk about 2 key areas that my advanced people are going to love, right? The advanced ventures, and then also the fun part, how you can actually turn some of these side hustles into a full-time income. So without further ado, let's get started. And of course, we're going to start with the actual beginner side hustles. Number 1, social media content creation. We've kicked it off with an easy one that everybody could get in on. Now, myself and Sam P. Dunn did a podcast. Then we hosted an editing contest, and we put that podcast out there as a free raw asset that any one of you guys could have taken, re-edited, made it better, and then got involved in that contest. There are video editing contests like that popping up all over the place, and there are challenges and also just like bounty challenges. I'm hiring the editor. I'm hiring the person who creates the best edit, sends your edit in. Everybody does their edits. They send it in. They hire the best person. So the reason I'm explaining that to you guys today is because myself and Sam actually hired people off the back of that editing contest. That was a free contest that you could have got involved in. You could have got involved in. You could have definitely got involved in. I see you there. You had a lot of free time. You could have got involved. Why didn't you? And that led to people actually landing a job. So that was a free opportunity that people got involved in. Social media content creation in the form of participating in challenges, participating in editing contests, or also just doing value first outreach, right? Taking someone's video, making it better, presenting it to them, and potentially landing a job can yield dividends. Hustle number 1 has to be social media content creation in the form of shorts, TikToks, big industry, lots of money going around in that industry. A lot of people need that video product. You could be the one to create it. Let's talk about another adjacent industry, editing content for YouTubers. This was where I got my big break when I was a generalist, right? If somebody's a general handyman, then you are only going to be able to command a certain rate because you're a generalist. You're a little bit good at a lot of different things. You're a jack of all trades, right? Jack of all trades don't really command the highest rates. Specialists, someone who specializes in solving one specific niche problem, is going to command a bigger rate. So you should be looking to be a specialist over a generalist. Now for me, the way I originally specialized was I became a YouTube video editor. I realized that it was pretty tough to be jumping around from place to place, and I wanted some consistency. So I focused only on YouTube clients because I was an undeniable hire for those clients because I had a big YouTube channel myself. A YouTuber is great because they make money from their videos. So unlike maybe a rapper or somebody else or someone where the video product itself doesn't necessarily generate revenue, a YouTuber's video product actually generates revenue instantly through AdSense. So they are monetarily incentivized to pump out a bunch of content because it's actually going to lead to more cash in their bank and a bigger revenue. So they can invest in editors because overall it actually affects the bottom line. They stand to make more money by putting out more content and they need help with that. So definitely being a YouTube video editor is an incredible side hustle. It's something that could turn into a full-time gig. I speak from experience. It's worked for me fantastically. It works for a lot of people inside VP Plus, my private members community as well. Next, let's quick fire a couple simple ones because I got a bit in depth there, right? We're talking about creating stock footage or editing packs for asset websites, Envato Elements, Motion Array, all that kind of stuff. You can be a contributor to these websites. If you are an incredible videographer and you just love going out there and shooting really picturesque content, but you haven't been able to land some clients, why don't you take some of that content, slap it on one of the many different marketplaces for stock footage, and start selling that and monetizing that as a little bit of passive income? Do you have to put out a large volume to make significant enough sales to make it worth it? 100%. Can you also upload a bit and stand to make a few sales here and there and this be a fun little passive income source? Definitely a side hustle? 100%. Also, maybe you're an incredible motion graphics designer, or you love playing around in After Effects while you're listening to Joe Rogan podcast and you're just doing it on the other monitor. Why don't you start putting those skills to the test, building some asset packs, some editing packs, some motion graphics packs, upload them to Envato, to Motion Array, and actually sell those packs and monetize that little bit of time, load up After Effects on the other monitor, fire together some packs, package it nicely, do a little branding in Photoshop, and upload that as a sales asset and sell that as a paid asset, as a paid digital product, and start generating some cash. I know a lot of people on Twitter who've dominated, who've built a little following of 1,000-2,000 people, nothing crazy, and then you know what they do? They come out with their effects pack and they make a little bit of cash. Final one for the beginner side hustles before we move on to intermediate, I'm talking about starting a tutorial channel. YouTube has honestly never been easier than it is today. YouTube have seen what happened with the TikTok model. They saw how users get really hooked when you give them dopamine on their first video, which means YouTube have now adopted that model, and if you upload a YouTube video, it's easier than ever for that first YouTube video to actually connect with the algorithm. Historically, that was pretty damn tough because YouTube didn't want a viewer to stop watching YouTube, so they'd be very careful with who they suggested the video to, because if it was a new channel, it didn't have a track record of proving that viewers liked the video, so it might scare people away. That's now semi-gone. They've seen what happened with the TikTok model, giving the user intense amounts of dopamine when they upload their first TikTok, so they want to keep coming back and uploading more. If you upload your first YouTube video and you do the packaging well, which you can use oneof10.com for and vidIQ, aka the keywords, but also the title and the thumbnail. We talk more about that in VP. When I was full-time freelancing as a video editor and I was in my little office every day, I uploaded a YouTube video every single day for 365 days. They weren't the sexiest videos in the world. They weren't the nicestly produced, but I still built up an extra couple $1,000s a month of income off the back of the monetization that those videos gave me, and sponsors reached out and started paying me for little sponsorships. I'd review a video editing software, I'd review an editing pack, and I'd get a check for it. Back in the day, relative to the income I was making, it was a big boost. I was like doubling my income every month off the back of just having a YouTube channel. Absolutely fantastic. I'd highly recommend it. Now, we're gonna take a breath for a moment and we're gonna move on to the intermediate opportunities. Let's dive into the first one, which is gonna be freelance platforms. Now, the reason why I say freelance platforms is an intermediate opportunity is because freelance platforms are highly competitive because there are so many people there, right? The supply of freelancers is massive. It's bigger than the demand for the actual work. So you're going to get 50, 60, 100 applications to a job, which is why I put this as an intermediate opportunity. If you are a specialist rather than a generalist, or if you have an incredible track record, you could actually clean up on freelance websites. They could be an incredible side hustle. I've made 6 figures off Upwork.com alone. In fact, back in the day, I used to make YouTube videos telling people to not actually take payment through Upwork because they used to take 20% fee, and then Upwork sent me a cease and desist and said, we're going to sue the shit out of you, Jack, if you don't take these videos down. Now, having said that, I would still recommend going to Upwork because they now only charge 10% fee, which I think is more acceptable, and I might not have tried to backdoor them and take the client outside of Upwork if they'd have just been charging 10% back in the day. You do want to only apply to the jobs that you're a perfect fit for, meaning if I put a job out there saying I need a Minecraft video editor, don't apply if you haven't created some Minecraft video editing content before and made a really nice video, because they ain't gonna hire you. They're gonna hire the person who has that relevant sample. So that's the line in the sand. Freelance websites can be awesome. Next up on the list, a simple one, wedding video editing. Wedding videography, wedding video editing is a funny one because it's very well paid. You can make a shitload of cash there and it's a great side hustle, but it is very boring and it's not as consistent because people aren't having weddings every single day, and to a certain extent there can be a season for it. Depending on who you are and your character profile, wedding video editing could be something that is up your alley, bit boring, not super consistent. I've done a absolute minority share of that kind of work, but I know people who've cashed in good cash, so it had to make the list regardless. Next up, we're talking about corporate promo videos. I've actually been paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to simply reskin templates on the internet, going to Envato Elements, reskinning a promo video for, some crypto app, some new technology that's coming out, quite literally taking a template and creating what, from my perspective, was a very easy project, but for lucrative cash. Being paid thousands of dollars to, in theory, edit a template and just sort of correlate and curate a couple templates into a nice cohesive video is very easy. So now let's talk about a fun one. We're talking about music video production. Music video production has historically been a big part of my come up, and it's something that I will be honest, I ditched after probably the age of 22 22, I think. But when I was 16 to 22, that good 6-year window right there, I was shooting a bunch of music videos. I was actually the music video guy around my town. We had a whole YouTube channel called TQ9 TV. You could type it in, you go find it. We used to pop up on rappers and film them in music video. This was kind of our specialty, right? The reality of that is it's a perfect side hustle because you can make a little bit of extra cash on the weekend, shoot a little promo video, shoot a little music video, whatever, but it likely won't turn into a full-time thing because there's one key variable that usually gets in the way of you making a lot of cash here. Rappers are broke. They have no money. So even if they loved your videos so much and they really wanted to pay you and they appreciated what you've done, they don't even have the cash there to reciprocate the favor, right? So they usually, for the most part, are struggle artists and they have no money, which means it stays as a side hustle for the most part. There's obviously been people who've crushed it and they've gone on to do big things. That is a minority, and regardless, it's a fun side hustle. Now, finally, we will talk about in the intermediate opportunities, real estate video tours. I've never done real estate myself, but we've got some killers in Video Production Plus who clean up doing real estate videos. This can be big, consistent money, and it's very easy work. You do usually have to land a estate agent or a broker who brings you out to shoot the content, but once that relationship is made, they usually have a big stream of properties they're trying to sell, and they want to do a video walkthrough of the property to create a more enticing listing online. They can pay you pretty nice cash to come through, film that content, edit the content, and post it. Also, sometimes they just have a videographer shooting it, and they need someone else to edit it and piece it together. So you can actually land work completely remote, not even going out and shooting the walkthrough, but actually just editing it on the internet. However, in VP Plus, shout out to some of our killers who are doing the walkthroughs in total. They're going out with the camera, they're doing the full walkthrough, and then they're editing the content, and they're doing the full piece of the pie, basically. So we've covered the beginner opportunities, we've covered the intermediate opportunities, but before we continue, I just want to address some people that think video editing might only be a side hustle, right? Because in VP Plus, we've had a lot of people join that have thought video editing could only be a side hustle, and they've gone on to actually make significant cash and make this into a full-time career. So maybe you're actively freelancing and you can't make more than a few $100 a month. It's possible. A lot of people have dealt with that, and we've helped them move past that point. It's usually a couple obvious things that they're not recognizing that simply need tweaking, right? In fact, Steven from Video Production Plus thought the exact same thing until he joined us. I want to read a message he put in our wins channel just a few days ago. Steven said, I closed a long-term high-paying client plus 2 long-term small-paying clients. I'm going to make around 6/7 shorts per day for around $3,000 a month. I'm quitting my 9-to-5 this week. Going to destroy this year. Air quotes, I'm living in Eastern Europe where the average salary is $450 a month. So this is amazing money. Shout out to Steven. Absolutely crushed it. Join VP Plus. Again, having a 9-to-5 job. He was treating video editing as a side hustle. Since joining VP Plus in a very short period of time, he's gone full-time. He's quit his 9-to-5 and he's taken this from a side hustle to a full-time job that he's earning very significant income in his local area with very significant income anywhere in the globe. In fact, 3K is a fantastic salary. So big shout out to Steven, and I want to encourage you guys to come join Video Production Plus. The link will be down below. In fact, I'm going to give you a discount code at the end of the video if you want to keep watching. So back to the video. Let's talk about the advanced ventures now, the stuff that you're going to have to get a little bit nitty and gritty with. And then we're going to talk about scaling, because some of you will have crushed some of these side hustles so hard that you're ready to scale it into a full-time business, and I've got the blueprint for that as well. So number one, collaborating with filmmakers. So once you guys start to build a track record, you're going to attract the attention of other people who are doing similar things. I was able to get access to larger variety of projects and just more high-profile clients through collaborating with other people in the space. The reason it's an advanced venture is because you have to go through the first 2 stages of like building a track record to really meet these people, but little relationships with other filmmakers and graphic designers have yielded massive returns. Graphic designers have been one of the best relationships I ever built. The reason, because there's no competition, but they deal with similar clientele. So a graphic designer can essentially recommend me to the same clients without competing with me. I mean, those relationships have actually yielded me all of my high-profile big club clients that I got back in the day, simply because I knew graphic designers who were in the right place at the right time and who could put me forward as the candidate to hire for the video stuff after they'd come through and completed the actual graphic design stuff. Also, I've been able to tap into higher profile jobs such as big music videos, promo videos for businesses such as gyms, etc., just because I had filmmaker friends who already had that client booked and they could throw me a piece of the pie to come through and shoot B-cam. I've given work to other people as a second shot, as a second videographer, as a second video editor, simply because they knew me and could come through. So relationships are going to be how you guys scale these things, but we're not talking about scaling yet. We're talking about advanced ventures. Next up is going to be a funny one. I'm actually going to make sure Emil throws some B-roll on the screen. You got to show him this, Emil. We got to show him back in the day. I was actually the face of many brands. My face was being run for another brand all over Facebook ads because I was creating startup explainer videos. So what that meant is a startup, right? Whether it be a new app or a new tech SaaS company who needed a face to be the face face of the tutorials, or I was actually even paid by this custom controller brand for a very short period of time to just play Fortnite because they wanted someone playing Fortnite with their controller, and I was getting paid like $70 a pop just to play a game of Fortnite. Now, I've done a few of them. They've paid very well because they're paying for your likeness, right? So it means a bit more than just being a video editor. You're jumping on and you're lending your likeness to the actual video. It's you, right? So you're almost getting paid like an actor, kind of. It's something I would definitely suggest if you have that ability to jump on camera, chat some shit, boom, 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 break it all down, and you know, if you feel comfortable doing that stuff as well, because I know that's a thing. Next, let's talk about editing for online courses. I've also been the face of some online courses. I've been paid some hefty money. In fact, on my Udemy account, I have something like 100,000 plus students because I'm the face of a couple courses. I was paid very nicely, thousands of dollars to create those courses, and essentially it was a similar gig to the explainer videos because you are lending your likeness, and also you have to have an area of knowledge on a topic to be hired to create a course about it for a foundation or a group, and that has yielded some good returns. Now, I will say it's pretty boring. It's very easy doing the edits, doing the actual recording, etc., but because it's easy and because it's like, you know, grueling, pretty boring. So I'm actually giving these a rating based on boringness as well, which is, to me, a factor, and I'm probably assuming because I have a younger audience, it's a factor for you as well. You want to edit content you actually care about, you actually like. It's why clubs was so fun for me, even though I never really made that much money doing clubs. It was absolutely a side hustle, but I just enjoyed it. It was fun. Next, we're going to talk about video content for ads and e-commerce. E-com, from products to even like food promo videos, aka just online ad content, online e-commerce content, has been something I've shot a lot of stuff. Now, I've had product manufacturers, right, from travel wallets to gimbals to insert tech product here, send their product to my studio, and we've shot a product demo video for that, and then we keep the product, and we also are able to get paid for the product promo video. In fact, I do a little sneaky, and I get paid by the company to shoot the product video, and if I didn't care about the product, which most of the time I didn't, I just go sell that as a new product on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, and I cash in even more money. So e-com videos, product video ads can be something that are a fun side hustle because, you know, they're just a little bit of extra cash for some fun stuff. In fact, me and Noah, who's my lovely videographer back in the day, we shot some shit for Muscle Foods. They sent us hundreds of boxes, like probably good 12 boxes, like a good dozen boxes. They were stacked up in my living room for a while of all this meat and fucking sugar and all this random shit. And we put together some fun, like foodie recipe kind of ad content for those guys. And again, it wasn't the craziest money, but it was a fun side hustle and brought a little bit more cash in, and also just added another diverse piece of content to the portfolio. And overall, it was fun. Now, real quickly, final one before we actually move on to scaling, I want to talk about virtual event editing. Now, with the ever-growing digital marketplace, right, the digital product, info product, guru marketplace, there's actually a need for an interesting type of content now that has 2 points of monetization. So people are hosting webinars, people are hosting live streams, and ultimately they need a event highlight shopper, someone who could be part of that event, shop out highlights and actually send it to them. And that's actually something we pay people in VP Plus for, to actually come and shop out the highlights of our live sessions. Shout out to Jalen, killer, beast. On top of that, they also need someone to work the keys, aka to swap the angles of the event, to run the back-end infrastructure, so to speak, of the live event, the live webinar, the live thing that's happening, and that can also be a point of monetization as well. We're going to finally get into the end of this video. Let's go ahead and talk about scaling. Things that are going to enable you to scale are going to be the following: building a team of editors, offering a subscription service, partnering with marketing agencies, consulting for video marketing strategies, and teaching video editing skills online. Let's break all of them down because they happen in different ways. Building a team of editors is the easiest way that you can scale. You're going to find as you get into the higher income levels, usually 5K is a checkpoint where you can't take on too much more work. You're starting to get burnt out, not necessarily from the perspective of you don't like what you're doing, but you couldn't take on more. Building a team of editors, which to a certain extent is easier said than done. There's a vetting process, there's hiccups to come, there's training them on your own style, etc. But building a team of editors is the only way you guys are going to be able to scale, because you can move into an agency model. An agency is a fugazi, up in the air word. You can move into a bigger organization with some freelancers below you who you can start outsourcing your work to, which means you can focus on the client or two that you're the most passionate about, and you can outsource the other stuff to your freelancers below you. This is something we do in VP Plus. There's a hiring tab. We've had many big high-profile clients actually hire people in VP Plus so they can do that and outsource work to them. Next, offering a productized service or offering a subscription service. Now, retainers are going to be key in building a real income you can rely on. If you go talk to big freelancers, they might have a couple odd jobs here and there, but for the most part, they've got retainer clients that are paying them significant retainers every single month. So that's what makes this a consistent thing. When we've got Cami C in Video Production Plus, who runs a $25,000 a month video editing agency and actually teaches you how to do the same in VP Plus. He's got a course on it. It's free for all the members who join. He's only able to do what he does and have such a consistent income because it's retainer clients. Shout out to Alex Oz as well. Absolute beast. We had him on as a guest speaker the other day. He's ex-VaynerMedia, worked at VaynerMedia. He's doing $15,000 a month with his video editing agency. He has a productized service. So you actually come to the website, you order the productized service for $2,000 a month, and you get unlimited videos in the form of you can give them one project at a time. They complete that project, they send it back, and then you send them another one, right? So that model is kicking off since Design Joy revolutionized it, and he's making, millions a year, right? So if you guys don't know the Design Joy story, I would suggest you go and watch Starter Story and their episode on Design Joy, because what this guy was is he was a normal graphic designer, so similar in the creative space, but not necessarily in video production. People have ripped this model off now for video production, but he was a normal graphic designer and he wanted more consistency to his work. So he put up a couple packages on his website, and you could just buy the package and get the service. It's a productized service. So instead of going through hiring an agency, doing a bunch of meetings, micromanaging, you just buy the productized service, the product that is a service, and you get access to a consistent flow of design tasks that you can give him. He does it one by one. He sends it back. Boom, boom, boom. Easy. So that guy's killing it. He's making $1 million plus a year, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month through this very simple model. Go look into it. It's definitely a proven model. Partnering with marketing agencies is also a good move to scale. Partnering with marketing agencies might mean hiring an email marketer. I, Jack Cole, don't actually care about doing email sequences. I'm just not that excited by it. However, I can go hire Mitchell Keller, absolute killer, who has come through and started helping me and my business partner Tim with doing the actual outreach campaigns. AKA, he knows how to do all the back-end email stuff and warm up the emails and send all the campaigns and clean up the leads and do mass outreach to people so we can land more clients. Consulting for video editing strategies can also be a good way to scale because you can introduce a new income stream. So when you started to build a good track record, some real substance behind you, you can start charging for consultations. Other people who want to do what you've done will come to you and they'll willingly pay you hundreds of dollars an hour, even thousands and thousands of dollars a month to learn what you know because you're consulting for them. You've already solved those problems. They want to, learn how to solve those problems without having to go through it the hard way. You can help with that. I've run a coaching program before. I also have a private members community, Video Production Plus, where we put all of our information out there so you guys can do the same and build the same business that we figured out how to build and have had success with building. And now we're bringing on other mentors such as Cami C, such as Alex, such as other big people who've built big agencies, 25,000 plus a month, and they're teaching you how to do the exact same as well. So I do highly encourage you to join VP Plus. Finally, teaching video editing skills online. If you've gotten to the point where you've crushed a track record, crushed social proof, you're an expert in your field, start a YouTube channel. What are you waiting for? There's no real downside to it. It will only help you. Building a personal brand will actually make you even more credible and make you be able to land even more clients. And it's something I highly, highly, highly suggest you to do. So overall, that's the end of the video. If you've seen this whole thing through, you're an absolute champ. And I really hope you enjoy this. So let's go ahead and recap. We have had 3 different sections. We've had the beginners, the intermediate, and the advanced. We've also talked about some great ways you guys can scale. I would actually advise you to rip this video through a couple times. Maybe watch it on 2x speed. Again, take some more notes. Really try and extract maximum value from this video because there's a lot of gems in here. And if you pay attention, there's a lot of little nuanced points in the kind of context I gave for each job that will help you know what's good for you and what isn't good for you at all. And ultimately, the side hustle is something you're going to be outgrowing and moving towards a full-time job eventually, but it might be one of these side hustles that ends up scaling into a full-time career. So that's the end of the video right there. I will actually say that we're going to have 5 20% discount codes for Video Production Plus down below. Use the code SIDEHUSTLE, all one word, and you can get 20% off your first month in VP Plus. I'm going to jump off your screen right now. I'm going to direct you to this video right here. It's going to be a banger. It's a great continuation for what we talked about today. Click the link. Do it now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. See you there.